The most common requirement in Employee Central for imports is importing compensation data. In today's video, we talk about how this can be done.
Okay, in this demo, I'm going to walk you through the steps involved in loading in a compensation change for an employee. So the reason I'm doing this video is there is a slight variation when you're doing a compensation load for employees because there's actually two files that you need. The first file is the one that's going to have the event reason that's going to show up on the compensation information. That is going to have your effective date, and we'll see at the very end of the process what I mean by that. And then the second file will include the specific amount update that is taking place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a brief demo, and I'm going to do it for a few employees in a Chicago office in my demo system to kind of illustrate how this process would work. And I'm going to start from downloading the template so that you can kind of see the process kind of end to end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to import employee data. Of course, this is where we go to do any kind of specific loads that we need to for employees. Most load processes are just going to involve one file, and so they're really very straightforward. This one's just a little bit more complicated, although as you'll see, it's not entirely overly complex. So the first step I'm going to do is download the templates. So I'm going to click on Download Template here. And what this does now is it's going to give me the list of all the employee templates. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the two templates that we need. And the first one is going to be compensation information. And what happens when you pull this up is, first of all, it's going to select automatically all the fields that are required. These are the fields that have to be there no matter what. And then if there are any other fields you want to add that are optional, you can include those. I'm going to include pay group here just so that you can understand how we handle things like pay group. In my demo system, the pay group is not required. So we would, in theory, we could have skipped it and it would just have kept the data that was already there. But let's say, for the sake of argument, pay group is required in your system, which is the case in a lot of systems. So I want to show you how you would handle the pay group in that scenario. So with this, then now you can see I have these fields, and I'm going to generate the template. So what I'm going to do here in order to make the process a little bit more clean, as I'm explaining this, first I'm going to populate the compensation information template. We're going to load the two templates at one time, but right now I want to at least populate this one individually. Then we're going to do the recurring pay one. So just a second, I am going to pull up the it looks like it ended up on another monitor now, and I just want to pull up the actual file I just downloaded. And just bear with me a moment. Got to find it. Too many things open. All right, now try again. Okay, so here is the template for the compensation information load. And you can see here it's really simple. I need to put in a start date. I'm going to use, in my example, I'm going to use a date in the future. So I'm going to use 07/15/2021. And then for event reason, I'm going to use the merit event that I have in the system, which is pay mayor, you would of course need to know what your event reasons are in order to do this process in your system. Of course, they'll vary based on system. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I've got a report that I've already run that has all of my Chicago employees in it. Obviously, you're going to be paying a lot more attention to specifically what you're putting in for each of these employees as you go. But for the sake of argument, for now, I'm just going to be putting these people in. I'm going to select this, and now I have added, I'm going to be what this is telling me is that I am inserting a merit record for each one of these employees. Now, let's say that pay group was required, but in my system, but yet I don't want to necessarily have to go in and remember what everybody's pay group is. What we do there is we put in something called no override. Hold on. So it's ampersand, ampersand, no overwrite. I can't type today. So it looks like that. And I do have another video where I go through using no overwrite in a little bit more detail, but it's really just about that simple. Basically, all you're telling the system is whatever value is there already for pay group, let's leave it there. So that's pretty much all you have to have here. So I'm going to save this record. So again, this is just the header record that just basically says this is the event date, when this event is happening, and then this is the event reason, this is the person that it's going to be happening for, and let's keep the same pay group. So now I have saved that record. So that's step one. That's file one that I'm going to be loading. The file 2 that I'm going to be loading is the pay component recurring, which is basically a subset of compensation information. So the reason for that is, of course, you can have multiple pay components in SuccessFactors. So if you needed to have 5 different pay components, you need a way to be able to load multiples. And so if we included the pay components on compensation information, the header file, then it wouldn't work because we need to be able to insert multiple pay components. In our example today, however, though, we're just inserting one pay component. So we're just going to be taking the base salary and we're going to be increasing it. So I'm in here, I've selected pay component recurring, and you see I've just basically selected all of these fields are already existing and required. So I'm just going to leave those here. I don't need notes. Normally we don't have that, but this is a demo system, so we've got notes in here for some reason. Now I'm going to click on Generate Template, just like we did for the other one. And now I'm going to load in the actual amounts that we are going to want for these employees. So I am going to pull this one up, and I've got the new load file here. And now I need to populate, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. And so by the way, the template often does this where it just puts things in a different order than maybe what you would expect. That's totally fine. It's not really hurting anything. Just put in the values. No matter what the order is, the system treats it the same. We don't need necessarily a sequence number here. If you're loading multiple records on the same day, like a promotion and a merit on the same day, then you would need to put a sequence number to say which one comes first and which one comes second. If you are not having that level of complexity and you're just loading in one per day, then you don't need to worry about that at all. So now here, I'm going to put in the pay components. In this case, I'm going to just put in base salary US. That's for my demo system. That would be just whatever pay components you are using in your system. So I'm going to load that in here. Frequency, for all my employees, the frequency is monthly, which is abbreviated as MON in this system. You would find out, the frequencies, when you download the template, you can see what the frequencies are. You can also find them by looking in your system, going to manage org pay and job structures and looking at the frequencies there. You can see all the different frequencies. So it's MON, and I think it's WK KLY, et cetera, depending on which one you're using. So now I'm going to make sure that I use the exact same event date that I have in my header file. This one I'm going to put in the event date. Put that in, and then USD for these employees. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, I need to put in an amount. I'm just going to put in, let's just give them all 11,000 per month. No idea if that's an increase or not for these employees, but again, I'm just trying to illustrate how this process works. So, okay, so now I've got the pay component recurring. So I'm going to hit save here. So now I have created two files. I've created the header file and then the actual pay amount files. So now what I will do is I'm going to go into import template or import data. And first I'm going to go to compensation information. And we will always use, when you're doing loads, you always use incremental load. Don't use full purge unless you know for a fact that you need to be using full purge. And so, as you get more and more advanced, there may be a reason that you need to for something, but for the 99% of cases, once you go live, you're going to be using incremental load. So just use the incremental load. I'm going to select browse. And now I'm going to select comp info template, the one that I populated first. And then I should always validate the import file data. Now, in the way that the import employee data works is that it's going to, if there are less than 10 records, or actually, no matter what, the first 10 records, it's going to validate it. And if there are any errors in those first 10 records, it's going to stop, and you're going to have to clear out those errors first. So if there are not any, and you have over 10 records, which of course, when you're doing real live imports, you're going to have more than 10 records. But in our little demo here, we have fewer than 10 records. So if we're successful, then it would just go in fully. But I'm going to click on validate employee data. It looks like I put in start date with an invalid format. So now I'm going to go look at the compensation information template and see what I did. So just a moment. Okay, and so as you can see, when I put in my event dates, and you probably saw this while you were watching the setup in the first place, I put in the event date without the necessary slash after it. So I'm going to fix that now, and if I put a hyphen in front, or I put a single quote in front, it will automatically treat it like text. So all I can, at that point, I can just copy down, instead of having to worry about it reformatting the date based on, with only 2 characters for the year, which causes an error. Instead, I can just put I can put the single quote in front, and then I would be able to put the event date in. So now you can see that I've got the event date populated, and I am going to go in, I'm going to select compensation information template again, and validate. And let's see, I must have, I'm just going to put a V2 because I think all right, so now I'm going to make sure that I'm choose the new file. And lo and behold, that one worked better. So putting in the right date format actually is a really useful thing to do. So now I have loaded in the compensation information header, and I'm going to click import, and voila. So now we have the compensation information header in the system. But of course, we need to now load in the actual pay amounts themselves. So I'm going to pull this other file back up. And if I can get to it. All right, so here we are. And this one looks like I got the dates right on this one. So I shouldn't have a problem there. So I'm just going to go, now I'm going to change over in the second file is going to be pay component recurring. And I've got that. Choose the file. And then I am going to choose pay component recurring. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. And I'm going to hit validate import file data. Let's see. Okay, so I guess it just so happens that this one employee already was at 1,100 or 11,000. So there isn't an update, which makes sense because you're going to be putting the exact same amount back in. It's totally fine. And I'm just going to click import. And total records 8 and number of records with warnings is 1. So now the next thing I'm going to show you, or pretty much the last thing I'm going to show you, is I'm just going to take one of these employees randomly and I'm going to pull them up so that you can see the amount that is appearing. So at the end of the process, you're going to see here, and of course we're doing this in the future, so that's why you can see that it says the compensation changes will take effect on July 15th. So you can see here that we've gone base salary. You can see that we have a base salary. I've actually ended up changing the frequency in this case. But you can see here that the compensation information has been updated, and the event reason that's listed here is merit increase. So at the end of the process, if you were doing a merit, let's say you were doing merit and you weren't using EC Comp for it, by going through this process, you would see the merit increase showing up as the event reason on compensation information and the actual amount. So this will facilitate any kind of reporting or anything you need to do later on the merit process. So anyway, hope this makes sense, and let me know if you have any questions.